Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Saturday, March 8th, 2025. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most in college hoops and other sports, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Each day I have my Bank Shot Best Bet, which is my top play in college basketball. So check it out at Pick Dawgz Premium. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Saturday in college hoops. First up, it's Mississippi State and Arkansas. This one, 12 p.m. Eastern on the SEC Network. We've done well in these early 12 p.m. Eastern SEC games. We look for another win here with Mississippi State. I like the Bulldogs in this one. Arkansas, even from the beginning of the season, this team was a little bit overrated. They were in the AP polls. They just weren't that type of team. And even now, they're right on the bubble for the NCAA tournament. Coming off the big win over Vanderbilt, potentially a season-saving win. But we know last Saturday, and we faded them with South Carolina, and that was a blowout win for the Gamecocks. I don't love Arkansas in this matchup either. When you look at Mississippi State, this is a team that's been up and down in conference play. They've gone through a couple of 2-game losing streaks here and there, but I still think overall, very talented team, very well coached, fundamentally sound. I think they should win both the turnover and rebounding battles in this ball game. They're not a great shooting team from the perimeter. They do struggle to defend the perimeter at times, but this is still overall a good defense. They force tough shots. I don't think Arkansas is going to be able to score consistently for 40 minutes. That's been the issue for Arkansas this year. Their offense has been very inconsistent. It's barely inside the top 100 in adjusted offensive efficiency. I don't like their chances in a 40-minute ball game, even at home, even in a must-win situation, a game that would be another season-saving or resume-boosting victory. I don't think Arkansas gets there. I think Mississippi State's still certainly playing for seeding itself. They could certainly use a true road win in this spot. So I got to go with Mississippi State in this one. I think they win the game outright on the road. Next up, we have Alabama and Auburn. We'll stay in the SEC. This one, 2:30 Eastern on ESPN. Could be the game of the day for Saturday. 2 top 10 teams going at it. A rematch. These teams met less than a month ago. It was a 9-point win for Auburn on the road. And now playing at home for the second meeting. They're installed as a pretty sizable favorite in this game. And I could see Auburn winning this game, but I think there's just way too many points to be giving to a very, very dangerous Alabama offense. We know Alabama's coming off the back-to-back losses to Tennessee and Florida. Really no shame, though, in those losses. I mean, the Tennessee game by 3 points on the road in a very tough place to play. And then Florida is, now a 1 seed more than likely in this year's tournament. You lose that game by 5, but it was an offensive shootout. But now you're giving Alabama here at the opening number 8.5 points. We'll see where this number goes, but I just think that, Alabama offensively, 3rd in the country in adjusted offensive efficiency, excellent offensive rebounding team. They get to the free throw line. They're a good shooting team. Their defense, from a shot quality perspective, may not be the best, but you could also say the same thing for Auburn defensively. Auburn, not a great defensive rebounding team. They do take quite a few fouls. I think Alabama still matches up quite well in this game. I think it's going to be a close game, back and forth, probably similar to the Florida-Alabama game. I'd want those points with Alabama in my pocket. Next up, we'll go to the Conference USA as New Mexico State takes on Sam Houston. This one, 3:30 Eastern on ESPN+. Sam Houston, at the beginning of conference play, was the unluckiest team, maybe not just in the conference, but could be in the country. I mean, this is still a team that's in the top 200 in KenPom, but was still 1-10 in conference play after 10 single-digit losses in those games. 3 of those games went to overtime as well. Just so many close losses. And now that luck is starting to turn around for Sam Houston. The Bearcats have won 4 of their last 6 games, and I think are still a very legitimate team to making a run in this conference. I think this conference is absolutely wide open. You could say Liberty is the sizable favorite or the big favorite. I think it's a wide open conference. I could see any team making a run, maybe other than FIU, in terms of winning this conference tournament. So I'm really excited for this one. But in this game, I think Sam Houston gets a revenge W. They're playing much better basketball on both ends of the court. Their offense especially, they're shooting the ball a lot better. They didn't shoot the ball well in the first meeting at New Mexico State. They were 68% from the free throw line, under 30% from 3. This is one of the nation's best three-point shooting teams, just under 40% on the year. So I look for much better numbers there. I just think it's a bad spot for New Mexico State to be in. Give me Sam Houston in this one. I'm going to lay the points. Next up, it's our friends at George Mason taking on Richmond. This one, 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. I say our friends at George Mason because we made a pretty penny fading the Patriots in recent games, and there's not too many opportunities where I would fade a team in 5 straight games like we're about to do with Richmond. But not only are we playing with house money, as we've just done a great job of fading George Mason recently, but Richmond is the type of team I actually think there's still value with the Spiders, with the opposite team against George Mason, because Richmond's record on paper has been miserable this year. The recent struggles on a 3-game losing streak. I don't love the fact that they're coming off a double overtime game, but this is still a Richmond team. It's playing a little bit more competitive basketball recently. They take care of the basketball. They're a good defensive rebounding team, an excellent elite free throw shooting team, 80% as a team. They're a pretty experienced roster, and they're playing in their senior night, final game of the regular season. I think it's a great spot for Richmond to compete, maybe even find the outright W. George Mason is not in good form right now. They're not covering spreads. I got to go with Richmond in this one. We're playing with house money. Next up, we have Duke and North Carolina. This one's 6:30 Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN. I know this is not going to be the most popular play, and I don't blame you if you don't want to roll with North Carolina. You don't want to go against Duke in their current form. But I got to be on the Tar Heels in this one. I think it's a great spot for them. A rivalry game, the first meeting of this rivalry, which is one of the biggest rivalries in all of college sports. It was a blowout win for Duke in a game they shot 50% from three-point range. Duke's a great three-point shooting team. They're nowhere near 50% overall this season. They're 38.5% overall. So I can't see that kind of shooting performance yet again, especially on the road against a North Carolina team. It's playing its best basketball in the season on a nice win streak. In the first meeting, Duke is one of the best rebounding teams in the country. North Carolina had more offensive rebounds in that game. They should be very competitive in the turnover battle. And just because Duke is number 2 in the country, they're on this big win streak, they've won all these games in blowout fashion recently, they are now a gigantic favorite on the road in this spot against a North Carolina team that may not be as talented, nowhere near as talented as Duke this season, but is still a very solid team in my opinion, playing on senior night with revenge at home. I think it's a great spot for North Carolina, plus the points. I don't think they win the game outright, but give me the points with North Carolina. And that's it. Those are the games for Saturday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.